Welcome to the podcast From Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita. And today's episode 123. And we are continuing the conversation about, the myths of stress management and stress in general. So today I want to talk about this idea that you can avoid stress if you avoid stressful situations. Of course, I would love to hear your opinion. And I could say this is a myth. And don't get me wrong, in plenty episodes, I gave lots of advice, especially that has to do with people that you need to leave them alone in order to help yourself to cope with stress. So, for example, let's say if you have very toxic siblings or family members or friends or coworkers and so on and so forth, it's a great idea if you just avoid them. Well, that's true. But this is the conversation today is about things in general. Like, oh, this is causing me stress, so I'm just going to totally avoid it. And then, I won't be stressed. Because life is not like that. We constantly have things that are coming at us. And I think that's the beauty of life because we will be really super bored if there will be nothing happening. Even if you have an amazing life and you're living the life of your dream and you're traveling the world with the person that you love, there will be some stressful situations, like, for example, the train will not arrive on time, or somebody will mess up your order, or it's just going to be plainly cold when you have all your shorts and t-shirts on you. So it is impossible to just totally avoid stressful situations. That means you should be like a person that lives on one island and nobody sees you and you live by yourself. Guess what? We are herd animals. We need to be in a group. And I think the biggest pandemic right now is loneliness. So even if you are by yourself, you don't need to see anyone, you're living amazing life and you're yourself responsible for yourself, you still will be stressed because you will need other people. So hence it's impossible to live totally stressless life. Now it's a very different conversation about how you react to that stress. There's a stressful situation, you know how to handle it, you know your triggers, you recognize your patterns, you change your patterns, you heal, you apply different tips and tricks, like, listening into this podcast and applying in your life and getting coaching, like from me, and all of those things that will help you to manage the stress. So, yeah, this is impossible to avoid stress and then don't get yourself in stressful situations. We still live among people. So still be that going on. Now, it could be very different conversation when you think about like, 10 years ago, I was not handling my stress very well, and hence I was more stressed out. Actually, I'll tell you this interesting thing I realized. So I started ballroom dancing classes. And the funny thing is that I am driving the same route to get to that class and passing by the subdivision actually where I used to live when I was married. And that was not fun life for me at all. But now I realize that route does not trigger me anymore because I address my wounds, I address my triggers, and now I know how to manage that stress. That could be a very stressful situation, isn't it? So I could say to myself, oh, I'd rather not to go the same route, but I already healed that, I already worked with that. Hence, for me, even driving the same route is not stressful anymore. So yeah, so that's the thing. So leave me a comment below and tell me, do you agree with me or you disagree? I would love to hear your comments.